now to check in with Charlie Langton, who is not sitting here as he usually is on Thursdays because he joins us live from Mackinac Island. Charlie, lucky you, is looking good up there.
Well, I'll tell you what, yesterday when we drove up here, it was pouring rain, and I mean pouring rain. The worst rain that I've ever seen. And this morning it was pretty overcast and pretty bad. But now, just when we started the verdict, I mean, the sun is out. Look at it. I mean, it looks fantastic here on the island. The horses are out. People are taking walks. The water is fantastic. I mean, it is really good. There is a reason I'm actually here, though. I love to say I'm just having a good time. And of course I am. But there's about 100 chiefs of police in here at the Grand Hotel, and they're having their FBI National Academy Michigan chapter meeting. They get together once a year, and it's about 100 chiefs of police or high-ranking police officials from around the state. And they get here and they just basically talk about issues that are common to police organizations. And there's no question this year the #1 issue, recruiting police officers and then retaining police officers. It's a real problem. In fact, I've been told that within the last 2 or 3 years, there have been 1,000 cops that have either quit, not re-upped, or whatever. So pretty much every department, not every department, but many of the departments are down for police officers. They're just down and they're hurting. So that's really the big issue. Why, you may ask? Some of the reasons: a lot of the rhetoric that we've heard in the last couple of years, defund the police, and we've covered stories on police beatings. Some of the chiefs tell me that has taken a toll in the recruiting area. And then there's always the benefits. A lot of the mood way back when cities were looking at budgets, take away pensions and instead have a defined benefit plan or a 401k, where that may be good for the city and managing the city's functions and finances. It's not necessarily good for police officers, so that's a real problem. But there are other issues that we're talking about, but that's really the big issue up here on Mackinac Island right now, you guys.
So, Charlie, it's the FBI Academy. What is the relationship, though, between the FBI and local police forces?
Yeah, that's actually a great question, and I actually just found that out just a little while ago. So the FBI it goes back to the J. Edgar Hoover days, where the FBI, of course, a national organization, but the FBI said, you know what, we need to partner with local police agencies. So what the FBI did many years ago was they started a 10-week training program where if you are at least a sergeant, but mostly a lieutenant or up, you could go to a 10-week course at Quantico and put on by the FBI, and you would learn advanced police tactics and administration and all kinds of things. And it's kind of a club. And many of everybody here has been through the FBI training. And so they kind of get together, they reminisce, they talk, and again, they're all chiefs of police, but everyone here. So every year they have a fall training conference, which is really what this is. But all these people, all the chiefs here, have graduated from the FBI training that they had for about 10 weeks way back when. And they all know their class number. It's kind of a thing. What number are you? Well, I'm 255. Well, I'm 236. So they all know it. It's kind of a badge of honor to some extent if you go through the FBI Academy for police chiefs. It's kind of an interesting club, I'm finding out. But that's the relationship between the FBI and the local chiefs of police.
Yeah, Charlie, it's a true meeting of the minds with the FBI and all these local agencies, but are there action items? Do they walk away with implementing some kind of differences in their individual forces from a meeting of the minds like this?
Well, I think what they do is, again, it's a policy conference, so you talk about the policy. Obviously, going back to the retention issue, I think there's going to be a movement to try to get money for police officers. I mean, one of the big things, benefits, one of the things, pensions. Pensions have been very controversial. A lot of, maybe, we at Fox 2, maybe private corporations, they've done away with pensions. And there's reason for that, is because you can't afford them, and people are living longer. So you could work for 20 years, say, for a particular company or a city, but yet live 30 years after you retire where you're collecting a pension. So how do you budget for that? And I think that in this day and age, I think we're going to see, and my sense here is that there's not a legislation, a lobbying group per se, but I think we're going to see at some point the cops, and there's different associations as well, asking maybe the legislature of the state to come in and do something with pensions. You got to have something that would incentivize people to become a police officer. So that's a problem. And one officer told me that the problem now is that certain police departments that maybe do offer pensions or better benefits or whatever are taking good officers from other cities.
Yep.
Now, he called it cannibalism.
Yep.
He called it cannibalism, but we don't want to see that. And then there's some ways to, cut benefits. The 911 system has been, a lot of cities and townships, they've had a shared system for many, many years. And smaller cities, they use the sheriff's department or they cooperate. So there's quite a bit of that going on. If you have a big problem, you can get the heavy trucks to come in and the tactical units, and they do that. But I think you still need the police officers and the personnel, and that clearly is going to be a problem.
Charlie, you're at a policy conference, so how big of a part of the policy is just police, local district attorney offices, state district attorney offices, like the legal system to go in line with the policing? So many times, you talk to cops, a cop will arrest somebody, they'll be on the street the next day. It's very frustrating for a police officer.
Well, they haven't bashed judges yet. Actually, I haven't heard that happen, but that could be a topic. I'll tell you what is a topic, though, the red flag laws. Legislature just implemented the red flag law. So if you believe your relative or a spouse or whatever has a mental health issue and a gun, pretty soon, this spring, you'll be able to go to court. There's a process. But the bottom line is that a police officer is going to have to go into that home and remove the gun. Well, this is a topic. How physically do you do it? It's the people here that are going to have to implement that. So yes, although they're not saying, they're going to uphold the law. It's just a matter of how do you do it, and that is also a topic of conversation up here. So use of new technology. There's all kinds of new technology going on. A shot spotter, those are the ones in Detroit. Facial recognition's a big deal. We could go on and on. It's very interesting though to be around all these chiefs of police. They just have they just think differently again, and it's very fun.
Good.
We'll have more tonight at 5 and 6, by the way.
Great.
All right, very good.
Stuff.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thanks, Charlie.